Hi everyone and welcome to the Knowing Who You Are live on Sunday. And happy Mother's Day to everyone.
Also, welcome to Knowing Who You Are, everyone, first of all. And what I wanted to say with also is that happy Independence Day to Bangladesh. It was yesterday.
Yeah.
And many things have changed. We went back, was it? Yeah.
We went back, we lost an hour. That's
we lost
all I know.
An hour, yeah. So everything was playing a bit weirdly, but even though the time is the same, we are a little bit late to it because the technicalities, it's not us to make sure. But we figured it out. Anyway, and straight away we have few viewers who are tuning in, and I can see Selena, I can see Eva. Hello everyone.
Hi everyone.
And hello Eva, hello Selena. And Selena, thanks for waiting for us. I know it's my mistake. What happened was that things been going quite busy in the last couple of days. So what happened, I didn't even post the trailer that we are coming today. So it's a very valid question that Selena asked.
Yeah.
So we are here, by the way. Oh my God, Artie's there. So nice seeing you both.
Hi Artie.
It's really nice. I mean, everyone is tuning in. And we have a gig coming up. We missed Artie on the rehearsal. I mean.
Oh, a gig?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's a gig.
A gig.
It's a concert.
I thought you said a geek.
No, it's a concert.
I'm sorry.
So,
it's me, I'm sure.
Yeah. So Artie would be there and we'll be performing. That's on the 30th. It's at Kingston Banquet Records since we are doing it. So just to mention, and I saw Artie. And since, apart from all the confusion between geek and gig.
Sorry.
So, yeah. So, everyone, first of all, a little bit of housekeeping. What we do on Knowing Who You Are. It's a podcast and you're watching the live stream, which we have started. So we can make more interaction with our audience members and listeners. And also make some announcements for the videos that come up on the channel on YouTube. And you can listen to it. You can download on Amazon Music, Spotify, and also definitely Apple Podcast. And there are a lot of, and also there's a website, knowingwhoyouare.blog, where you can find every single episode. If you can download, you can listen, and also everything that we have done so far. But there's always the YouTube channel, so it's a good idea to like, comment, share, and subscribe if you have the time. And we would appreciate the support because it helps us to know what content you want and if there's anything else you want to see. At the moment, we are concentrating more on mental and physical well-being. So in that vein, we already have quite a lot of life coaches, specialists, and also quite a lot of productive people, very successful people who had been on the channel, and many are being recorded and edited as we speak. Yeah, so it's coming tomorrow. There will be another one all the way from America again, because last week you have seen I have spoken to a life coach mentor who had her own struggle, but how she overcame, and now she's coaching other people, helping other people to overcome their fear. So next week we have another special guest all the way from America, and that'd be very interesting too. So we have quite a lot of interesting
we have some great comments.
So what's happening this Sunday? Is it not sunny enough outside? What's happening?
No, I think we'll
happy.
see. They're happy to be with us, which is very
Exactly.
nice. It's like you're in our living room having coffee with us this afternoon.
So we have Nikat as well. Nikat, hi.
Syra. Hey,
Syra.
Syra.
Hello.
It's been forever. And she's saying, oh my God, Esther, your hair, I love it. Thank you. This is how I normally look.
Oh, yeah.
The curlies and all that is something else. This is me being natural today. I thought I got organic.
Fully natural. You see, no makeup, nothing. I'm totally natural.
Right. But I'm wearing green in tribute, and also green nails in tribute to Bangladesh freedom.
Yeah.
So
Independence Day.
Independence Day.
That was on the 26th of March.
Amazing.
So today is 27th.
Wow.
So yeah, just
Fantastic.
yesterday.
50 years.
Yeah. So that was the day, but it was declared today, the independence. I mean, it was on radio on 27th of March when they declared the independence. So it's nice to see everyone. So we wanted to talk about freedom as well. And there's some other things we've been talking about.
Yeah.
I think, was it today?
It was today. It was this morning at breakfast. We were
this
talking
morning,
about all sorts of
breakfast,
things.
and also I think we were coming back from the gym. So
yeah.
we were walking, and Esther brought up a few things here and there, and I said, "How about we talk about these things?"
I think it's really cool that you're saying we were walking back from the gym. He was actually at the gym, and I actually went shopping. But So we met up and then we walked back together. But I did do my workout afterwards, as I do every day.
It came out, and I was thinking, okay, let's give her the credit.
No, it's very nice. It's just, you know me, I'm an open book.
It's
I would
true.
just, I would just blush and not.
The thing is that if you're not honest yourself, you can't
Yeah.
be honest about other people as well.
This is true.
So
Yeah.
there's no point
Clean heart.
we being here.
Clean heart.
Yeah, exactly. Doing knowing who you are and not telling the truth. But it was totally. I didn't mean to do it. It was totally
Oh, I know.
unintentional.
It was true.
It
We
just
were
came
walking
out.
back from the gym. I
Yeah.
just picked you up from the gym.
Exactly. So, yeah, we were talking about freedom, but since we are talking about this one, I would like to mention I had the opportunity of presenting or reciting another one of my poems at Rich Mix on the, what was the day?
Oh, gosh.
24th.
Was it 24th?
I think
It was
so.
last week.
Last week.
Last week.
So on the 24th, I think, yeah. And Nikat can correct me. Totally, I just lost track. But it was on the Independence Day. We were supposed to have that last December, but for some reason it didn't happen. So I got to do that one this year. And I kind of recited, I had written a poetry based on that event, and I had recited that too. So I'd like to share that to open the day, first of all, or to open the show, the live stream. I'd like to share and hope everyone is interested to see what went on there. Let's see, do I have it here?
Poetry freedom, yes.
So are you ready? Yep, let's do that. Good evening, everyone. I know this even has been, first of all, it was supposed to be done in December 2021. And at the time, we had written our poetries. And when Visita told me it's about freedom, I first felt that freedom, definitely, we are celebrating the freedom of a nation, of a country. But it comes, first and foremost, from a very deeper sense of self-worth. That's what I believe in. And I feel that even the War of Independence, that started from that same sense of self-worth. So it comes from a very deeper sense of self-worth as opposed to self-esteem. I believe that when you seek for freedom, first of all, you have to free yourself of all the fears that we have now. As humans, what we have is two motivating factors, is our need to get alone, need to get ahead. And also we can say our need for connection or our fear of rejection. So what happens? We are always afraid in our life that we'll be rejected by our peers, our community, because we have a primitive mind which says that if your community don't accept you, if you're out of the community, you won't have food, you will die, and the wild animals will kill you. But we live in a modern life, but we are still carrying this primitive brain with us. So this fear of failure, it keeps on stopping us, everything that we want to do in life, most of the time. Many of you here probably, you write poetry, you probably recite beautifully. More beautifully than I can do probably tonight on stage. But we keep on thinking, shall I do it? As a musician, sometimes I've seen many times, and even every time I come on stage, I feel this, my heartbeat, it gets faster. But I realize the thing is that most of the time in life, we end up not doing the things, so we carry this fear of uncertainty, fear of failure, and the moment we embrace it and we think about our self-worth, that's when the freedom comes. So from that sense, I've written this poetry as a reminder to myself and to everyone, what's stopping us? So it's called What's Stopping You? What's stopping you? Sometimes the world awaits your arrival while the journey has yet to meet you on the road. And you are somewhere, snoozing the alarm. The rubber has yet to hit the tarmac, though you are making your stops at every street. But that's all in your dreams, and in time, you will forge more. You say to yourself, it's all good, it's okay, because you're just busy collecting your thoughts. No time to exchange the absorbed glances, favorite smells of different dinners, familiar faces of unknown emotions, troubled and lost evenings of distant voices, and the dream continues. While the journey waits by the wayside for you, you tuck the duvet a little tighter under your feet while the reluctant frowns overtop the floral edges. The warmth of comfort, the ease of the known, outcomes repeated on a loop, and our love for choked boundaries. But a ghostly wind can make the lines blurry. Perhaps that's what we need sometimes. While your trembling fingers reach for the alarm once more. Snooze. Your soul rests in a deep, secure slumber while the journey awaits you. The roads call beyond the fear to the other side where freedom awaits you. What's stopping you? On the other side, a new day awaits you. Thank you.
Woohoo! Woo-hoo!
Thank you.
Woo! Sorry, I can't clap real
So I thought with that we should set the mood. And also thanks to Nikat, first of all. She said it was on the 22nd. That's true. So yeah, I stand corrected. And as I said, okay, what happened? I didn't sleep again. I didn't sleep enough last night. I mean, I don't know what happens. I don't know how many people are suffering from the same kind of thing. Having a very happy life, everything is pretty good in my life. But the thing is, I would wake up at 4:30 in the morning. I don't know for what and who wakes me up. Because I wake up and I see that Esther is sleeping peacefully. But I wake up, I can't go back to sleep. And by the time I go back, it's again probably 5:30, 6 o'clock. And then I wake up by 7:30 or 8 at the most. So
I have said that I think it's because you're reading about 32 books at the same time, but he says it's not the case.
But what happened then, I tried to sleep a little bit. I tried this afternoon. Yeah. I was rushing. I said, okay, let's get up and do the show. So, you know, I'm still probably having a bit of a brain fog. So thank you, Nika. Thank you, Sarah. So this is what we are talking about in terms of freedom. Either it's independence of a country or freedom. My idea was to give the freedom to ourselves. First of all, are we really free? Everyone here asking the same question. I mean, we have to ask the question to ourselves. And this is one question that I ask myself over and over again, to be honest, every single day. Because whenever there are times, whatever you say, especially in this modern age when you have the social media, there are a lot of comparison all around. So it's hard to feel free because you can't be yourself. As Esther was saying that, I mean, even though she dared to come with a natural hair. So, but not
styled.
Yeah, natural hairdo. But you're looking good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great. I can see that on the screen. It's looking good. So, are we really free? We have to always worry about, okay, am I looking good enough? What I'm doing, is it good enough? Because other people, what they're doing, or at least what they're projecting on the social media, it seems perfect. And compared to, because you know your truth. You look around, you say, okay, my life is not perfect. Look at their life. Everything is perfect. Going for the holiday and this, wherever that is in Greece, America, Portugal, whatever that is. I mean, you're just going around and see those sunny places. And then you're like, okay, the sun's not out today and we might not see the sun until the 1st of April or probably mid-April. And you're sitting here and thinking, and there are a lot of other issues you're grappling with. So that's the idea. I felt that first and foremost, when you have the self-worth, what I mean by self-worth, and I mentioned one thing, as opposed to self-esteem, because self-esteem is normally a thing which we kind of gain when we have some kind of achievement. So you have a good job, or you have succeeded in probably in one of your exams, or at work, or you have probably won reward or some kind of award as well. Then that gives you some kind of self-esteem. But self-worth is the thing that you're born with. It's your right, and you just occupy a space. That's your self-worth. So that's what I was thinking, and I wanted to talk about. Another thing is negativity and how and what it makes me feel. Whenever, I mean, this is the conversation we are having when we are coming back from the gym. I was coming back from the gym. Esther picked me up to clarify again. So, yeah. So let's start the conversation. I think we can ask each other the question, and first of all, we can start by saying what you had suffered growing up, because we all had been through it. Sometimes we realize at some point. I had been through my own struggle. Probably you have to, Esther. Definitely you have been through your own struggle in life, where you weren't free actually, because you thought, I have to do something what my parents want. I have to do something what the society wants. And I have to do something what other people are doing, as opposed to what you want to do. So if you see that you're kind of not freedom, you have sacrificed your own freedom just to make, the other people happy, and also to keep yourself at par with the rest of the society members, whoever they are. Because as I was mentioning in that video clip you had seen, that there was a thing that we have this primitive brain which tells that, okay, you need to stay with your community until and unless you do that, there's no guarantee for food, and wild animals will get you because you'll be isolated. But there's no wild animal, to be honest, at the moment. I'm talking about the city life, and also even if you're living in the countryside, because we have all the protection now. We have guns, you have fire, and also you can many people are living completely an isolated life, which I'm not saying you should do, but I'm saying you still can subsist, and it's possible. But still we have this, your brain is constantly sending the signal saying that until and unless you group up with the rest of the people in the society or the community, then you're nobody. And again, failure, uncertainties, I'm going to talk about that too. But to start with, Esther, what was your experience from your memory, if you can share with us, when you felt that you sacrificed your freedom? Now, sitting here now, you look back and you're like, oh my God, what was I thinking?
I think when I was 12 years old and I was accepted in the ballet academy in Holland, and that was like your full college curriculum with 12 subjects plus 2.5 to 5 hours dance every day. And it's something I really wanted. I had worked towards, I had been a dancer since I was 4. So it was, of course, that was, when I was accepted, it was a fantastic thing. And very soon I realized that because, to be an ideal dancer, you have to be small. You have to be small and you have to be very thin. And that's totally fine. Except while I was thin, I was definitely not small. So I had to get extremely tight diets. I got up every day at 5 o'clock in the morning. It was to get the train to another city to be there. And from the age of 12, I was basically away from home. 12 hours a day from my family, and it was completely fine, because in the beginning it was like, this is the goal, and then suddenly after a year and a half or so, it suddenly became a struggle. It was like, I have no choice but to get up early. I have no choice but to do 5 hours dance a day, and I can't eat the pie that my mom just ate and blah blah blah. But what I realized afterwards, that all those freedoms I felt had been taken away from me, even though I very consciously at the very beginning had decided, well, this was the path that I was going to choose.
Yeah.
It was my choice. And I find every time in my life where I found my freedom's being taken away, or I don't have the freedom to do that, it is because I at some point agreed to either this line of work or this kind of career or whatever else. And when you just go back to the point where, well, that was the path that you chose, and you can just unchoose it and decide, well, no, actually not doing this anymore.
Yeah, I mean, you love dancing, but it doesn't mean that sometimes there's a difference between that and we feel that that's my passion and I found it.
Exactly.
But not necessarily all the time. Just because someone loves doing something, it doesn't mean that that's their passion. They have to follow.
I have to say, it was my passion, and if I had the physique to do it, I would have become a professional dancer. But the recognition came, I don't have the physique. There's nothing wrong with me. There's nothing wrong with my courage. There's nothing wrong with my resolve. It's just physically not going to work. It's like when you have a guy who's got one leg who wants to be a bicyclist. Okay, nowadays you've got the Paralympics. They've made it possible. Yeah. But you can't be a dancer if you don't have that physique.
Yeah.
And and I made peace with that. And the moment I made peace with that, I stopped feeling a failure, which is actually really interesting, because that obviously follows from making that
No,
decision.
I mean, I feel that too, because sometimes we don't have the time to think about, and especially every time I talk about that we have to make our decisions in life, what you want to be. I want to be a doctor, engineer, lawyer, whatever.
Yeah.
But at a very early age, when you have any idea what you really want and what it feels like to be to be in those professions.
Yeah.
But before I continue,
There's a
funny
message from Syra. So earlier on, you said that you got up at
keep
4
on
in the
waking
morning,
up at
keep on
4,
waking up,
4:30
and
in the
Syra
morning.
is saying it's the universe telling you to exercise at 4 a.m. Just like your cousin Tosif. I think he starts at 5 a.m.
I mean, I
Maybe you
would have
guys
done it, to be honest. I think I can, because my gym is 24/7.
Oh God!
That's a good idea. Why not?
Thanks,
Because
Syra.
every day
Really.
when I wake up, I feel like, okay, what should I do? I should go to the studio and sit down and start doing some reading
I have a
until
great idea.
I get tired.
You can do that. You can go to the gym, and when you come back by about 8 o'clock, you make breakfast. So I wake up with coffee next to me and a full breakfast. I think it's fabulous.
Nice. Yeah. So the chef gets up at 4 o'clock, get the kitchen ready and everything propped out.
Clang, clang, clang.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll make sure I'll wake you up too.
Oh, God.
As my assistant. No, that's a good point. So in my case, I think growing up, everyone can imagine. Say, for example, do you have that phase when you want to do your hair in a certain way, you dress in a certain way? And
No.
in our case, we grew up in the 80s. There's no social media, no internet, thank
No.
God. But still, we were watching movies, and
Yeah.
I had so many iterations of my hairdo. Like, I would have long hair. I never had like long hair, but the front, I got bitten by my teacher. Literally
no.
caned.
Oh,
That's
no.
what happens in Bangladesh, by the
Oh,
way,
no.
if you didn't know.
Freedom.
So literally, yeah, freedom. They just grabbed me
Oh,
by the front of
no.
my hair and just shook my head. And it was an important exam as well. So what happened? I used to put a lot of gel in my hair and just always try to slick back. But on that day, I forgot. I was in a rush and I just shampooed my hair, unfortunately. So I wore a cap, and the teacher was thinking probably he's copying. So he might have notes hidden inside. But I was trying to hide my hair. And it was a very strict school, collegiate school in Chittagong. So he asked me to take my hat off. I took that, and straight away my hair fell off and covered my face. And oh my God, he called 3-4 teachers as well. He said, come on, see this specimen we have in the classroom. And he grabbed me and he shook my and he said, okay, next time if you want to come for the exam. And it was basically a final exam for 10th grade, which is a GCSE now. So I had to go through that. I didn't cut my hair, by the way. I maintained. So I showed up for the board exam with a skull cap. So they're like, okay, very religious guy. With a skull cap, but still I got checked every now and then. Teachers used to think he's hiding something, probably.
Oh, no.
No one realized I was trying to hide my hair, that's all. So the pressure, but I feel like in my case, most of the time, no one told me about these things, but there had been times, definitely, I felt suspicious about my choices. I was like, okay, I'm doing everything that other people are not doing. Or what other people are doing, I'm choosing consciously not to do that. Say, for example, when there's a fashion that comes, everyone is wearing certain things. Say you're wearing jeans when it feels like that a tiger probably had attacked you, or a dog. But I haven't bought, as yet, I have yet to do that.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do that probably one day when I feel like. That's my thing.
Yeah.
When everyone is doing it, I don't feel like doing it. But if I feel, at the age of 60, suddenly I feel like I'm going to wear all ripped jeans and I walk on the street and people will think this guy has gone crazy, I'm going to end up doing it.
No, I'll do it
probably.
with you. We're going to be a bunch of old fogies with ripped jeans.
Yeah.
And we're going to say, back in 2022, this was fashion and we're still young.
So Selena says, have you ever done reading while at the gym? Like on the machine? I saw this on TV show at a slower pace.
Oh, no,
Okay.
he listens to podcasts while
I just
he's
listen
working
to
out.
podcasts
Yeah.
and I take a lot of notes. Sometimes I'm just doing one thing, I'm listening, I say, oh, I need this. And I write it down on my phone. I don't have a notebook with me. So sometimes if it's too deep, because I listen to audiobooks as well,
Yeah.
so I choose not to but still it's hard. Anything that I'm listening to, they're quite serious stuff. So I feel like taking notes every now and then. So there was a neuroscientist I used to listen to at the gym. I stopped doing it because every few minutes you feel like taking notes, and my gym session would extend to 3 hours.
Yeah,
because
I remember that.
I would just stop and Esther would be like,
where are you?
You're supposed to come back within 1.5 hours, but I'm doing just taking notes and working out, taking notes, working out. So yeah, it can be a bit of a distraction, but I see a lot of people probably not on the treadmill, but on the cycles. Oh, that's very popular. Even I saw a girl in front of me was doing it. She forgot what she was doing. Sometimes they're just doing social media probably, and she's just moving very slowly, and she feels she's under the illusion that she's working really hard while she's just probably posting or checking her social media, Instagram, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I did it once actually on a it was not the treadmill. Yeah, treadmill. And so I was walking. I'm thinking I'm like fast pacing, and I was reading a novel, and it was so funny that there was a point where I started laughing. Then I laughed, then I choked, and then I forgot to run, and I literally got scooped off the machine. I fell. So yeah, that was the last time I used.
No, I mean I haven't. No, I don't have that accident yet. I haven't had it. But yeah, this happens, and today what kept me busy, my gym session today was extended as well, because during that time I had a lot of WhatsApp conversation from all different directions.
Exciting times.
Yeah, so yeah, and one of them was Nikat who was there. Nikat, you would remember we were talking about an event which Nikat is organizing at South Bank Center.
Keeping it quiet.
No? I would like to shout out, because definitely it's going to happen. Most of the things, I think Nikat is okay with that. It's 1st of June. So at South Bank Center, we are doing this event, and Nikat kindly invited me to join and perform. So I'll be there with two of my friends with recitation, performance. There's some classical guitar player from Poland, one of my friends. She's joining as well. So it'd be amazing. Yeah, it's okay. See, Nikat.
Good.
Yeah. Not that hush. Yeah.
No, so, she just because she was telling me that she was still trying to keep it because it was obviously still in the works. But that's where cat's out of the bag. Meow.
Yeah. So I mean, I thought we'll keep on. Every week we'll make people. I mean, I think it's free. Nikat, is it free or do they have to buy tickets? Let them know.
It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, it will be amazing. I'm looking forward
venue.
to
it. She put a bid in for it and got it approved.
And unless she had decided to change the name, at the moment the name is a very cool name. I love that. And I told one of my friends, and as I said, the classical guitarist who's going to play with me, she's Polish, and she was laughing. She says, "Oh, Sufi Soup, interesting name." So it's called Sufi Soup, and there's a magazine coming up. She has a lot of projects.
Yeah,
Nikat really appreciate it.
Yeah, very productive.
And very encouraging and very positive, which is a nice thing. And I really feel interested working with people who are positive, then something good come out of my performances, because it's easier to express your creativity when your creativity is not hindered and someone else telling you, always guiding you, no, do it this way, do it that way. And I'm very fortunate. There's only two people I'm currently working with, which is definitely Ishita of BBPC, amazing person, and who makes it easier. So that's why every recitation that I do on different events, that's with BBPC. And looking forward to working with Nikat as well. Let's see. Good things are coming.
Yep.
So
I'm excited.
Yeah. And Selena says, do you ever listen to music at the gym? Podcast is interesting. No, podcast. Me, totally podcast. Me,
totally
podcast.
Music. Absolutely. Yeah, I can't do it without music.
I'm just addicted. I'm a musician. I think all day long, whenever I have time, either audiobook, podcast, or some kind of interview or something, that's all I'm doing. So that helps me. It helps me keep away from any kind of social media distractions, because I'm always busy doing those things. So, your phone, you don't need your phone in your hand. So it's just there in my pocket or even lying around next to me, or when I'm working out doing other things. So that's one of the ways. And audiobook, book reading, but book reading I do twice a day, which is morning reading and bedtime reading. So morning reading is, I have two sets of books which are in the studio. And behind Esther, there's a stack. I mean, Esther, it's a funny stack. So it has all the books that I'm reading at the moment. So those I do in the morning because those are for serious reading. I have to take notes and I have to do everything that I want to learn. It's my study or my interest, anything. So I'm doing it then. And when I go to bed, before bedtime, just to put myself to sleep, because I try not to hold the screen next to my face, avoid the light, so I can fall asleep quickly. I do some reading that's more fiction. So during that time at night, fiction, but still I end up reading some, same kind of book that I like to read, and more about personal growth, self-improvement kind of books as well. But yeah, mostly fiction at night, poems, interesting thing, literature. So which is keeps me motivated, gives me good dreams,
Well, you wake up sometimes in the middle of the night and you write down lines, of poetry.
It happened.
It happened.
I had written poetry the other day, which I had seen. I mean, I remember back in the days, people used to say "Shopne pawa oshud." So things like it's a medicine that someone have found in their dream. So I find some of my lines, ideas from my poetry in my dream. So I just keep a notebook next to my bed. I just wake up and I write it down. And it happened. Like I could revive 3 lines, I think. Yeah, and then I carried on writing. It's there somewhere.
Yeah. Oh, there's a message from Nikat here. It says, our performance is the first performance on the 1st of June. The organization is called Sufi Soup. Do check out social media and Instagram at Sufi Soup Magazine. I thought I'd use this opportunity to plug the event too. Absolutely.
Exactly. That's what I'm doing too.
Thank you for highlighting this, Ershad, and thank you for remembering our conversation, Esther. It's now confirmed. So excited. Okay, good.
Great.
I feel good.
So yeah, we are looking forward to it, and that's
really nice.
That's what I was saying that today. So Nikat, when you were talking to me, I was at the gym basically. So with you and there are 2 other different people, I was chatting at the same time. So many things were going on because I have this other concert coming up. That's on the 30th. Then we have quite a few in May and in June, including yours. So I'm looking forward to it. Rehearsals on all the time. Like this Wednesday, we have a rehearsal, and after that, we have the concert. So interesting things. So going back to freedom. So Nikat, question to you. What is freedom according to you? Because since we have done this event on the Independence Day, I mean, for Bangladesh, 50 years celebration. That's why we had done, and with BBPC. And I think, and basically Shami Mazad, who is a very renowned poet of our community, and she's an international poet. So interesting, she's a storyteller as well. So she organized, and that's part of her work with Rich Mix and many things that she's been doing. And she also is the person who started the movement called Be Joyful. So Be Joyful it's like poppy. So it's the same thing, but it's with Bangladesh's flag. You've seen that?
I should have worn it today. I just realized we have it.
We have that.
We
should
one.
have done that. So Nikat, let me know. Selena is there as well. Selena, let us know what is freedom according to you. Saira is there, and everyone who's watching. And in the meantime, my friend Manik, I don't know, Manik, are you watching or you left because we got into a lot of different conversation. But Manik said hi to say hi, Ershad and Esther. So hi, Manik, and really nice. I have yet to send you my waist, your waist, and the length of our jeans. So because he proposed that he would like
send
to
us proper jeans.
Yeah, send us
that's right,
proper jeans. Yeah. So we definitely want that.
Yeah.
And looking forward to it.
It'll be a bit smaller next time we give the measurements because we're doing so much workout and we're eating very healthy at the moment. So getting ready for summer.
I really have to say today I'm looking at the screen and every time I'm thinking, I'm reading the messages and thinking, but on live I have to say Esther is looking beautiful today.
Aww.
I'm just looking at you. I can't help it. I have to say that. Yeah.
That's really sweet. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I'm going to blush.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's freedom, right?
Yes.
So why hold back?
Freedom to express.
That's freedom of expression. Like you feel like saying this and there's no harm in it. That's my partner. So I feel like telling that she's looking beautiful. And why do I have to think, what people might think on a live show, they can't talk like that and things like that. I don't believe in these things. Because when you have this one shot at life, you have to live life without harming anyone, so long you're not harming anyone.
Yeah.
So that's when negativity comes, and I'm going to talk about this. Then I think it's okay to live in your own terms. And I respect people who are doing it. And I'm happy that so far in my life I've been doing it. Many people had said many things, like, aren't you doing this? You're supposed to do that. And I didn't follow that. I did whatever I felt like, and I'm happy so far, so good.
Yeah, you've done pretty good.
Yeah. And so coming back to freedom, I'm waiting for those definitions or the ideas or what the meaning of freedom for our viewers and our listeners. In the meantime, I'd like to mention that the phone number is there. Anyone who'd like to give us a call.
Yeah.
If you're in England,
Yeah.
easy, 07308192908. If you are anywhere apart from England, where you can use the WhatsApp, and it's 004473081929908. Pretty easy. So give us a call and let your voice heard, because it's very important, freedom of expression, because I see a lot of celebration of independence all around the country. But it's at the same time very important to be able to express themselves as human being, whether it's a differing voice or whether you are part of the, current movement in the country. It doesn't matter. Every human being, they have their own voice, and you are supposed to have the freedom to express yourself. So long it's guaranteed, I feel that freedom is achieved to a certain extent. And also there's another talk I had listened to, who probably is coming very soon to the podcast, Dr. Salim Jahan, who was the speaker.
Oh
amazing
my God.
person.
He was
I so much respect for
amazing.
him.
Gosh.
And knowledgeable person. So
Yeah.
he mentioned something about growth and freedom as well on that day.
Yeah.
And really, it resonated with me, because this is what I think about. I mean, in Bangladesh, we hear every time Bangladesh is the emerging tiger. Bangladesh is growing so much. But every time I go back, I'm like, okay, I see a lot of infrastructure development, and a lot of people are wearing the same kind of clothes you see in the West. Some people have, they're enjoying everything. They don't need to come to England. They're even better off staying in Bangladesh. They have the amazing houses,
Yeah.
which here, if you have to do that, you have to be a billionaire.
Yeah.
But they do it there in Bangladesh.
Yeah, they build their own.
But main
Yeah.
problem, what he was mentioning, that, okay, 50 years of independence and freedom, and the growth is happening, but when the growth is not, the wealth is not distributed properly, and the growth is not distributed among all the different classes of people, then where's the growth? It's just, and the gap is widening between three classes. And that's true, it's always been there in Bangladesh, the upper class, middle class, and the lower class. And also, interesting point, which really moved me when I heard about this analysis, that when you have three different kinds of services, three different kinds of educational system as well. So you have, for upper class, you have English medium, middle class, you have public school, Bengali medium, and for the lower class, you have most of the time it's religious institutions. And also he talked about services. I mean, that's true. I have seen it myself. Like, I've seen hospitals are there. They're hospitals, people who can afford, who are rich, they can even fly outside the country. But even the hospitals with this better facilities, you have to have the money to go and even spend. Like in 3 days, for my father, what we had paid, I know.
Oh my God.
And then
yeah.
for the middle class, you have,
Yeah.
and for the lower class, people are probably lying in the corridor of the medicals.
Well, we
public-
saw them.
Yeah.
We saw them at the university hospital when we were there, and it wasn't just, the entrance wasn't just an entrance. It was covered with people that were dying and needed help. And because there's doctors and nurses in training, they give the service for free.
But again, there's
But it
another
was-
part of the country you see, it's totally, you're like, oh my God, am I living in America or in
Yeah,
England?
it's true. And it really is. It's
even
amazing.
more amazing than that.
Yeah.
You have everything that you need.
Yeah.
You don't even need to leave the country.
Yeah.
You just enjoy everything.
Yeah. It was.
So anyway,
it was
that's
amazing.
a different topic altogether. I don't want
It
to bring
is.
up politics, but
It was a
since-
wonderful experience just to end on a high.
Yeah.
It was one of the most amazing, life-changing, eye-opening trips I ever had. And most importantly, it actually got me to see everywhere where you grew up, everywhere where you had all your stories, and it was like your whole childhood came to life. And I cried so much when we left. So I know I've said this 1,000 times, but it was beautiful. And I honestly, if it wasn't so far away, and if certain economical and government structures weren't the way they were, I would happily live there. Absolutely.
Nikhat has a very interesting comment.
Oh, yeah? Oh, she says, freedom to me is being able to speak my mind and standing with my beliefs. Often as we go through life, we continuously encounter barriers which stop... Oi, I lost it 1 second. Sorry, we're just going to find it here. Freedom is overcoming the barriers and staying true to oneself. It's not easy, and it's a cycle that we have to encounter repeatedly. Freedom is the strength to keep going against adversity. Absolutely. It is a human right to be able to do so, isn't it? And then we have another comment that just came in.
Selena?
If you could help me with that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So let's see what Selena says.
Selena is saying, freedom means many things to me. To go my own path. Everybody has their own journey. The ability to move about freely and think my own thoughts without barriers, both literally and metaphorically. Ultimately living my life without judgment, which is inevitable, but staying resilient. Yeah.
Staying resilient,
Very
that's
good.
a new idea.
Key
idea.
point, yeah.
Because staying resilient, that's probably Selena can elaborate on that one a little bit more. Because I have my ideas about resilience as well, but Selena can share what she thinks. But going back to Nikat's point, and we'll discuss about Selena's as well, freedom to me is being able to speak my mind, definitely. That's what I was saying, that when you feel like I wanted to say something to Esther now sitting here on camera and doing a live, I said that. And
You can say it again.
Yeah, I said, you're looking beautiful. So, because it happened many times, I felt that people, when they're posting a picture with their partner or with their family, there are things, okay, can I post this one? Is it appropriate? Can I do this? Can I do that? Well, if you're sharing your life with a partner and everyone knows that you're connected and you can do everything behind closed doors, there are certain things, definitely there are limitations, but why can you not express your love in public? You know?
Yeah.
That's one thing. And then often as we go through life, we can continuously encounter barriers which stop us from living life how we want. That's another thing. And what are the barriers normally, Nikat, you have faced? You can share with us. What were the barriers for you? Then probably it will prompt me to share mine, and Esther can share hers as well. Definitely, we all face, and many of my very close friends, every now and then, I have even heard that I don't want to post my pictures on social media. I feel like I've taken some amazing pictures, but I can't share it. I don't feel like, because I'm not sure about what's going to happen or what's in future and things like that. But the thing is, you feel like, do it and live in the here and now, because you won't probably have that opportunity in the future. And and stop us from moving forward. Okay, freedom is overcoming the barriers and staying true to oneself. True. It's not easy. Okay, staying true to yourself. Examples as well, that'd be nice, Nika. Then both of you, you're welcome to give us a call and we can discuss about this. Because staying true to yourself, this is why I was giving the example. To be honest with you, let me share a lot of things here now. Say, for example, there are certain kind of outfit I probably wouldn't wear a couple of years back. Certain colors I wouldn't wear a couple of years back. Say, because there's a cultural barrier where I grew up and my friends and everyone who were there. And I've been told that, okay, men normally they don't wear pink, right? And you're wearing socks, and if you wear too colorful, then you might look a bit frivolous. And I felt like I like these colors now. I mean, I'd say, okay.
You looks great
and
in
thanks
pink.
to Esther, making me...
I'm making you bold.
Yeah, fall in love with pink, especially.
And Doc Marten boots.
Oh, yeah. But the pink, I really love, and I love the color, and I wear it.
It looks
Nothing
good.
to me. So long as a human being, main thing is your demeanor and how you expressing yourself. What's in the color of your clothing? And then, sock-wise as well, I wear like the glaring possible color. The things that sometimes I feel like, oh my God, people would say something. Then I feel like wearing it today. And they can think whatever they think. They can pass their judgment. They can see things. But my heart, my soul, it needs that. And it feels like doing it. Do it. And I do it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I mean, you have done that. And this is one of the things I would have to thank you for that. Because I felt and ever since we were together, I saw that you have these tendencies about these bright colors and expressing yourself since you love them. And I felt, do it. Oh, Nikat has called.
Greetings, Nikat. Welcome to the show.
Hi.
Hey! We're just putting your volume up here so we can hear
Nikat?
you.
Can you hear us?
Hold on, sorry.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Perfect.
clearly.
Okay, sorry, I'm basically doing my laundry.
Okay.
I love how we're part of people's household.
Yeah. Yeah, we are a household name, you know. So the thing is, just imagine, Nikat. Have you seen, Nikat, how people used to do their laundry back in the days, like 80s, 90s? Have you seen? Or probably 80s, no. You've probably seen 90s or early 2000. Have you seen it? Because Nikat is a young person.
In Bangladesh, you mean, or?
I'm
'Cause-
not that young, but yeah, I don't really. I have seen it. Like, I remember in school, like we went to these places where they told us, like, you know, what life was like during Victorian times and before and stuff like that. Like, those old techniques and methods of like washing clothes and doing various things.
Yeah, there's
But
one
honestly, I
when you're
don't
beating it
remember.
against a stone or something. That's one. But in Bangladesh, when people used to grab it, it's like they would keep on pushing on it. It's like kach, kach, kach. It makes the sound.
Oh,
Then
yeah.
you roll, then the water comes out. You know,
That's funny.
I think people still do that in the
still do
villages.
that. Still do that. I mean, even in towns, I've seen some people do it because not everyone has a washing machine. Like here, it's a common thing. We need those white goods, but they're not. So
I
yeah.
think also some things need to be hand washed. I've seen my mom do it here, to be honest.
Oh yeah, I still hand wash stuff. Absolutely, absolutely.
I mean, there's some material probably you need to do that.
yeah, Syra's also
Yeah.
saying, I know the old Bangladeshi technique.
Yeah, Sarah would give us a demonstration later on and over the phone probably. So Nikat, in the meantime, I was asking you that how do you express yourself when you say that whatever you feel like, or say for example the barriers you had faced, since being Bangladeshi, especially from a South Asian community, and especially being a woman as well, there could be a lot
Yeah.
of different barriers you might have faced. And if you're lucky if you haven't, but if you have, could you share a few with us and how you faced those, how you dealt with them?
Yes, so I started typing and I realized there's too much to put into, you know, a comment. So then I thought, okay, let me just call. But I think, yeah, you're right. Especially as a South Asian, you know, Bangladeshi Muslim woman, I have faced, like, you know, my fair share of barriers. And I guess, like, I guess I'm still facing them. And it's like a thing where, like, from time to time, constantly I kind of go through a cycle of feeling maybe the way I think isn't the way that I should be doing things, but luckily I overcome that and kind of realize that actually no, I should do things the way I want to. One of the ones that I could maybe easily talk about is in terms of gender. Like, there is that expectation of a girl to, you know, at a certain age get married, etc. So it's like diaspora communities, when they kind of leave their, you know, home country and they go to a new place, often they become a bit more conservative in certain ways. So I guess that's kind of the case.
So you mentioned that a woman
the early
should...
20s kind of thing. So being a 26-year-old, well, nearly 27 now, and not being married, that in itself is a very big thing. And also the fact that my parents don't have that expectation. You know, often or places like that, I do hear comments from people like, oh, she can't get married. And I guess with a lot of people, the kind of thing that they would often like to comment about is the fact that I have vitiligo. So I guess that's another kind of barrier as well, like kind of overcoming that. I guess now I'm very like content with how things are, and I'm very proud of myself. But, you know, kind of going through certain things as a child, it is quite difficult. And I guess, you know, it took me a while, but now I do have that sense of freedom to kind of be free in my own skin and kind of with my own life and everything. And yeah, so I guess like one thing that I'm really grateful for is the fact that my parents, even though I know that sometimes they don't understand where I'm coming from, but they support me constantly. Like if anyone does make a comment or say something, like my parents are there to like rush to my side. Like
Oh, that's
I remember
nice.
once my nanu, she made like you know, she kind of said to my brother that, you know, you can't get married before your sister gets married. And she really stressed my brother out, saying that, oh, your sister won't get married if you do. You know, that kind of old thinking
Yeah.
from back in the
Oh
day.
no.
And I remember my dad kind of got up and said, no, she needs to study more. She's not going to get married now. Like, it's not her time. And I remember my nana was like, she can get married and study. And my dad was like, yeah, but she can study. And then when she wants, she can get married.
Nice.
And I know that deep down, my dad sees that, his friends' kids are getting married, his, siblings, like his nieces and nephews are getting married. And I think he kind of deep down does want, that, but he also kind of
respects your
wants
choice.
that it
Nice.
happens at my own time and that I'm happy.
That's nice.
That's really nice. I mean, you need that, especially it's a lesson for women who are growing up, or the girls who are growing up, even in Bangladesh or probably even here. I mean, I have seen more pressure probably here rather than even...
there is definitely. My cousins in Bangladesh, they get married in their 30s and it's completely fine.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, here and especially there are certain sections, even I have seen, it's even harder. And also there's a pressure that you have to get married to someone who's from Bangladesh, or literally someone is imported from Bangladesh. I mean, if I put it like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another tendency I've seen. I mean, there's no harm in it, but the thing is that what the girl wants, because she would be the one who would be spending the rest of her life. That's one thing with that person. And also, it's about the choice, as you were saying, that this is what I want to do. Whether I want to get married or not, that's totally your choice. And what you're thinking about marriage, how secure you're feeling around that, and whether you have found the right person for yourself that you feel like I can spend the rest of my life with. Because you are a woman, right? And you had faced this. And let me tell you about my story. Up until last few years, even my own friends from my school, when I saw them, they're like, Ershad, get settled. So I said, okay, what's the meaning of getting settled? And they're like, just get married and get your probably a few children and everything. Because there was a time, I had been single for a while, because after my first marriage, then there had been a time I had been single. And during that time, I had pressure from my friends even, when they were saying that you get settled. But while having said that, there had been people in the society, and especially it's very much widespread, especially in the corporate societies in Bangladesh, where people have happy families on social media, but then behind the scene there is a different life they're leading. They probably have someone, it's a different relation they are keeping with someone else. So my question is that, okay, I asked them literally, I see this happening a lot around in the society. So do you see that settlement as well? Just portraying something on social media or for the society, and then you have a parallel life which even probably your wife doesn't know or your partner doesn't know. So these are the questions, the pressure.
To be honest, my friends go through certain things. I've seen families do these kind of things, as you say, because social... The media part of it, we need to focus on. It is content that is curated, whether it's real or not. It's what people are choosing to put and not everything.
Yeah.
So obviously, through Instagram pictures and stories, you might see a happy family. You might see a couple that's, very much into each other, but that might not always be the case. I'm not saying that we should judge every single person.
No,
absolutely.
We should kind of understand that what we see is not always the full story.
No, true.
Exactly.
And obviously it may not be as intense and serious as people, not being faithful to each other, but it could still be, there could still be some sort of issue or
something is missing,
there that...
Because sometimes it's a matter of compatibility as well. So they probably are forced to do that, or again, because when people get stuck in a relationship, when they're not happy. So for you, say, for example, you're under pressure as a woman at the age of, say, 26, 27, that someone is saying, get married now. But then all these stories and you are seeing around you. At the same time, you have experience probably among your friends. You know many things as well, or relative or acquaintances. A lot of the things that's been happening. So definitely you have your trepidations and you're thinking whether it's a good idea, because I don't see it's working out. So you're taking your time. Fair enough. I think
also it's just a very societal thing. Like in the South Asian Muslim community, there's so much emphasis on marriage, and I guess with certain people like myself, you know, certain things may not be that important to me at this point in my life.
Yeah.
True. Exactly.
And if it does become a thing where, you know,
It's
I
a
think,
priority
oh, actually,
thing.
I
What's
need
your
to-
priority now?
Yeah.
But at this moment, obviously, I don't feel like that, which is why it's not happening.
No, that's perfect. I mean, this is the thing people should be talking about more probably. And it's almost like, okay, I have seen, this is from my own experience, when parents are like, okay, once we have married her off, then that responsibility is done. Okay, I don't want to know what's happening after that. You take care of her. I say to the groom that you take care of her. Whatever is going on with her, whatever problem she has, now it's your responsibility, and we are just, you know, hands off. So that's one of the ways as well, and people feel so that always prompted me. I mean, when I was growing up, and I've seen that if people are in a rush to give their daughters to marry off, my question had been, then what's the point, or why do we want, and what's the value of a daughter or a son? What's the difference? And this is why all this discrimination, that's how it started. When everyone, still there's a tendency that when people say, okay, I want a son, and we see in movies as well, it's been portrayed,
Yeah.
we see in the societies that a father always wants the next generation to, you know, is propagated. So it's they want that, okay, I want a son. So to be honest with you, I always felt like a daughter is the most beautiful thing. And I had this dream, I keep on saying that, when I have my daughter, if it ever happens, then I would like her to have her life whatever way she wants. I'll give her all the ideas and whatever right and wrong, and she should have the access to talk to me about everything. This is how they should grow up, because same thing, they're human beings, and same goes for the sons as well. But going back to your point about freedom, this is a very valid point, and thanks for sharing with us, Nikhil. It's really good. And also
Thank you.
that you made yourself the case study, literally, on that, and you shared, because not many people. So this is the freedom. So you had set the example as well,
Yeah.
saying that whatever you feel like, you share, right? That's your freedom as a human being. So
Yeah.
kudos to you. Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we're
that-
excited about South Bank. Really excited.
Yes, same here. I'm really excited. And
Awesome.
so, I mean, I'm really excited to, you know, see the execution of, you know, Ershad's idea as well. Because I just knew that, you know, like, because this idea is quite experimental, and, you know, I didn't have like a full-fledged structure, because I wanted
When you came to me.
everyone to kind of give like parts of themselves in the performance. I didn't want to say, I want you to do this, this, and this. And I feel like Ershad just fit into that perfectly, because,
Thank
you know, it was like, this is the overall theme and what I want to achieve. And now he came back with, okay, this, which I'm really glad about. And it kind of makes it easier, because I want to showcase everyone's talents and not just kind of, you know, bend it to how I want.
And
Yeah.
put it even together, just I've done an event, but
Yeah.
you know, it has
Yeah.
to be.
Yeah, you'll get the best
creative
outcome that
license
way.
should be
Absolutely.
issued.
That's super exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very exciting.
Thank you, Nika.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah,
no,
thank you for
definitely,
calling.
always.
And have a good
Lovely
rest of your
call.
Sunday, huh?
It's a very good point.
Oh,
All right.
all right then.
All
Bye-bye.
right, bye.
Bye.
It's a
Inspirational.
very inspirational, and very good
inspirational.
point,
Yeah.
and such a bold voice, and
Yeah.
she could speak, I think, on behalf of most of the women in the society. Many people wouldn't talk about it,
Yeah.
and she had done that. And Syra said, going back to the comments, and she said, no, I think because I said if she can,
Oh, she's going to demonstrate the
yeah,
washing.
demonstrate the washing. It's like, I can do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Selena said the same thing. She also experienced the hand washing. And it's true. When we were in Bangladesh, we did the same thing, actually. It was hand
Yeah,
washing,
at some
everything.
point
And it
we
worked.
had to.
And the thing is, you hang it out on the balcony, and it was dry in an hour because it was so hot.
That's amazing.
It was
I mean,
actually
how
faster than doing it with a washing
clothes,
machine.
Yeah, they get dry. The tumble dry. You don't need any.
Yeah, because I had all the kurtas that had to be hand washed
Yeah.
because I didn't want to put them in a machine. So
So Selena say it's like the conception of females as burden in a patriarchal society. Yeah.
yeah, very true.
So that's very true, and things are changing in many places because women are more empowered, and especially they're in different work environments, and they're in the workforce as well.
Yeah.
Still, if you look around, there are still certain industries and certain profession I haven't seen. Say, for example, I had classmates when I was doing my electronic engineering, my master's in Queen Mary. Then I had a lot of classmates, say, from America, from Spain, from France, who are women, and they're studying electronic engineering. They're doing math, they're doing physics, and some are coming in the audio industry. So that's very inspiring to see. So things are changing. It's not the same. But yeah, thanks to Selena for sharing that. If Saira has any interesting point to add to that, or Selena has any interesting point to add to that, that'd be really nice, and we can have a different voice as well. But
Shifat also just started watching. Hi, Shifat.
Yeah,
Good to have you.
Good to have you, and thanks for watching and always your constant support.
Yeah, she's good.
Because Shifat gets back to me or gets back to us saying that, okay, Bhaiya or Esther, that we haven't been able to see that. She calls you Bhabhi, right?
Yeah, that's really
very
sweet. Very sweet.
Also, Shifat is saying, I have been so lucky in me and my sister's life since a tender age. My dad always told us we need to be independent and not rely on a man and be self-sufficient. How beautiful.
Very nice. Yeah, that's very lucky indeed.
Because when you are free, and then the love you give to that person, say your husband, your partner, it has nothing attached to it. Or especially I'm saying that because when someone is dependent on someone, you don't really know where the love comes from. Because I've seen even in the societies back in the, say, our generation previously, say my parents' generation, and even before them, the same problems were there. It's not the first time that we are seeing it suddenly in the modern age. It's coming out more, but people had those discord, and people stayed in their marriage. And sometimes we cite an example saying that, oh, they were so happy they stayed in their marriage until they died. But the thing is, they had the problems, same problems as we are facing. Probably it's a bit too much now, or we see that more. There are a lot of distractions all around. You know, it's very accessible to get distracted by all different kinds of places since you're this virtual life you have. But they still have the problems, but they carried on. Sometimes they felt the independence, the financial independence women didn't have. So they were dependent on their husbands. So sometimes they felt, if I leave this person, how am I going to fend for myself? So they stayed, notwithstanding that sometimes they're happy or not, we don't know. We can't say that. So it's really, if you paint it with, broad stroke, I feel that it's not right. So the problems were the same, but since women are empowered now, sometimes we end up saying, we hear in the society, oh, she's working now, there's no need for them to be educated to that level. It's not very important, because that's what causes the problem in the family, because they don't end up looking after the kids. So my question is, if anyone is posing that question to the wife and saying that she shouldn't be educated, she shouldn't go or join the workforce, because who's going to look after the children? What's the duty of the father then? I mean, it's not about, bringing the child in the world, then it's the mother's duty. I mean, if you equally share it, the responsibilities, then it's easier. It's all about just earning a living. And if both are doing it, say, for example, if they are working part-time during that time, both of them, and they, take the shifts, different shifts, and today's my day, I'll be at home, I'll look after the children, so you go to work. They can always do that. But most of the time, there's also this toxic masculinity. This is another thing. Because when you're a man, you're not supposed to do certain things. This toxic masculinity, say, for example, you're not supposed to express your feelings.
Oh,
say,
in that way.
Even when I said that you're not supposed to wear pink. Say, for example. Not every man would do that. Some men would think, oh, no, it's women's colors. And then you're not supposed to shed tears. You shouldn't have tears in your eyes. You shouldn't cry. Because I remember when I was growing up, my mom told me once that. All respect to my mom, especially it's Mother's Day as well. But it's a thing. People used to think like that I used to say something happened to me. I'm always very emotional. I have learned to control my emotions. But there had been a time when there's an emotional thing going on and I want to express it. I've been through it. Tears would come. It would roll down my cheeks. And my mom once said, okay, being a man, you shouldn't cry. and you shouldn't have tears in your eyes. I remember that. I said, oh my God, there's something wrong with me. I shouldn't do that. And that's how I felt. I was in high school at the time. And it stayed with me for a long time, to be honest. And there had been times now we watch movies together, then we start crying together.
It's true.
And thankfully enough, and the first thing I do whenever I know what triggers Esther's tears, so I just out of my corner of my eyes, I just straight away I look at Esther
and he sees my cheeks are totally wet.
And I see she's like, and then I said, okay, now I have the license, I can start crying too. So
that's really funny. Oh, you have some messages here. This unfortunately, I cannot read.
Sikandar Ali, he's my dad's friend.
Oh,
nice to see him there.
Hiya.
I mean, hello, uncle, you're there. And Sikandar uncle. And then Little uncle as well. I mean, growing up, these people I have seen when I was in Bangladesh. I've seen them in our household quite regularly.
Nice.
And I have seen Little uncle when he wasn't even married. And he was a young guy, came from Greece. And he settled in Bangladesh at the time. A very fashionable person. So he used to say, তোমাদের live অনুষ্ঠান আমরা খুব enjoy করি, ভালো লাগে, দোয়া করি, তোমরা ভালো থাকো. So what he's saying that we really enjoy your live stream.
Oh, great.
And we pray for your well-being.
That's really nice. Thank you. Thank you
it's
so
really
much.
Nice. It's
wonderful.
really nice. So amazing people, and the people I'm getting to see today, it's very inspiring. So we're talking about freedom, and thanks to Nika to bring it up, and which is prompting me to share a lot of my stories as well. This issues about toxic masculinity, and I think this has always been around and is still there, and that's what prompts in a sense that when men and women, they have their work divided in a sense, or responsibilities divided in a household, and even though someone is probably have done a PhD, a woman, she would still she would have to think about, okay, I have to probably postpone my career because if I'm planning to have a child, that's the case. What Nikat was saying, that her dad is saying, no, she needs to study higher and she has to go for higher studies. So at the moment, we're not planning for her. And which she has chosen. And her choice is totally based on, she's not feeling like, because her priorities are in different places now.
Which is great.
If she feels at some point, she would do that. But if she doesn't, that's her choice too.
What was the name again of the doctor? Dr. Salim, is it?
Dr. Salim Jahan.
Yeah, Dr. Salim Jahan. I think one thing that was really, really interesting and poignant to this point that he made on the 22nd. Someone...
he'll be on the podcast, by the way.
Yeah,
he had
will
committed
be,
to me. He said,
yes.
Ershad, I'll come to Knowing Who You Are.
Amazing.
So I'll be doing an interview with him.
So the point that he made was, it is your right, or let's say people have all sorts of identities. You have the identity. He gave himself as an example. Let's say I use myself as an example. So I have the identity of a female, of a European, white-skinned artist. You name it, and I have the right to be what I feel I should be. But that doesn't give me the license to think that I am better than someone else. And I think that was the most groundbreaking, monumental, fundamental, because it's true. And that's because he's like, someone is Muslim, someone is a Hindu. It's like there's nothing wrong with that. But until the day that they both don't consider themselves superior to another, and I don't say that using this either way, because I have no personal experience with this, but that is personal freedom. You can be who you want to be. Like this wonderful gentleman called Simon who works at the Rich Mix. He's a host and he wears beautiful outfits. He was wearing a kimono the first time when he welcomed us. The second time we saw him, he was wearing a white glittery top.
That's a lovely character.
A wonderful gentleman. He really, really nice. And he basically he told me that he was being laughed at by people that worked with him. And then I said to him, well, don't ever have anyone laugh at you.
But it's a good thing that you see that even his peers or his colleagues, probably someone's laughing at him.
Yeah, he does it anyway.
But Rich Mix is supporting.
Yeah,
so he can wear that, and he's coming and doing it. So it's a culture
really, really
that they have
nice.
established. It's amazing.
Oh, Nikat saying, "Oh my God, I love Simon. Such good energy." Yes, I did actually ask him to come and watch us on the show, so we'll see. Simon, if you're watching today, because there's many people watching and we don't know who you are, then you're awesome and keep looking awesome.
No, that's very true. And your point, what you had mentioned, that feeling superior to someone just because what you're doing in life, what your choices have been. So sometimes I have seen this. I think it is still very much predominant. Say, for example, there are a lot of amazing poets in Bangladesh and even here, and people, we can't even match their intellect and the world they have inside them, the universe they have, and the thoughtfulness. Probably that poet is earning a living but just by writing poetry, being in publishing or something. He hadn't chosen to be a doctor, engineer, businessman, whatever that is, whatever gets you more money. And there's no doubt that there are certain professions that will get you more money. You can earn more money. You have a better living. But if you are content with whatever choice you have made in life, I don't think there's no comparison. That's one of the things. And there are 3 C's, what I feel the sources of all our problems and also give us a lot of trouble is, one is when you compare, when you criticize, and when you complain.
Yeah.
It's true, because
Yeah.
you see the negativity aspect of things I'm saying, that there are many times in our lives you face an issue, you see that, okay, first of all, the problem starts within. When you open Instagram, TikTok or whatever, especially Instagram now, all those, curated images and the curated perfection that we are talking about. And you were reading a book, was it Elizabeth Day?
Oh, philosophy.
Yeah, philosophy. She mentioned that we are comparing our inside with the projected outside of people. So they're not sharing their insight. So it's not equal comparison.
Yeah.
So you are comparing your inside, but with someone's outside. If you compare your inside with someone inside, then you'll find the same thing.
And we make a point in our household that we do not do these things. We don't compare. We don't criticize. I mean, it's really one of those things where we just don't. And what was the third one?
And complain.
And complain. We definitely...
Because when you complain, because everything I learn in my life, and probably at some point in my life, I've done those things myself. So comparing, we can't help it sometimes, because when the whole society, your family members, your friends, and everyone's saying, Ershad, you're supposed to be a barrister, you didn't choose that, and what made you not to be a barrister? Even some of my senior students from my university, they asked me the same question at some point. I said, no, I don't feel like practicing. I'll do something else and I can do better things. And I felt that I have other areas that I can have more contribution, and which I'm doing. I'm so happy that I have been allowed to do that. So comparison, that's toxic. Anytime we see people and we see what my friend is doing, what my neighbor is doing, and we start comparing ourselves, comparing us to them, and we feel that, okay, we're not good enough because they have done something better. And criticizing is another thing. Say, for example, when you are in a situation, I always give an example of being in traffic. Probably I'm driving on the road and someone just cut across and came in front of me straight away. And I feel like there are 2 choices. I can swear, I can tell him off and say something, make a bad comment, or I can think on his behalf rather than criticizing his situation, what his position. Some people definitely do drive really badly on the road, but there could be an emergency. But this is how I calm myself down. And I learn, when I'm not letting this negativity inside me brew, that I'm saying, oh, look at this driver, then you use some rude words or you swear at them, then you give those information in your mind. Then your mind is processing them, and that's what it's getting mixed in your being. Then this is what comes out of you. Whatever you process in your brain, because that controls your whole life. And this is how you see yourself.
Yeah.
And the last one is complaining. I feel people who complain, I had done that. Say any trouble I had, any stresses I felt, I had complained that this person is not doing it right. That's why I'm suffering. But I didn't say where I am wrong, what I am doing wrong. I learned it in a hard way in my life, and I realized, oh my God, and I feel sorry that I complained so much, saying that you are to blame and you have done this wrong or done this right, and that's why this is happening to me. While I didn't say anything what I have done and what I was doing at the time that was causing all this trouble to me. So it's easier to blame outside or people outside rather than looking inside and thinking where I am wrong, because then it says that you have to work. And sometimes we don't want to go into that discomfort of working on ourselves, and we keep on denying. In denial, we see all the mistakes that other people are doing, rather than we are saying to ourselves, I am wrong here, and I have to work on myself, and this is where I'm wrong. And this is what I say, it's a constant journey. So we have to do it. It's like gardening. What do? You take your weeds every time, every few weeks, every couple of days.
Yeah.
So if you let it grow, the weed will come again.
Yeah.
Same problem. So same thing. I feel that, okay, I know these things. I'm talking about these things live and sharing with you. It's not that I'm preaching, to be honest with you. I only say things. I was telling someone else the other day.
Yeah.
Things I do myself, the practices I do, the changes I've brought in my life, I just talk about them. The things I haven't yet done, but I want to, I don't talk about them because I haven't done them yet.
Yeah,
so what's the
exactly.
point of? You should practice what you preach.
Yeah.
So,
I think so.
3 C's, it's an interesting point. I feel that it's really important not to compare, criticizing. If you want to be a critic yourself.
Yeah.
And last one is complaining, because it turns you into a victim.
Yeah. Zaira actually says here, I love the idea of 3 C's. We've been talking about this with the children from an early age, but I love how you put it in a term like that. I'm going to teach the girls this, stealing this as well.
Definitely.
Great.
Nothing is copyrighted. Knowing who you are is all about, even though we write copyright 2022. But the thing is that people are free to do that. I just do that so that it's not used in a wrong way. And sometimes, people take a small clip, 30 seconds, and take something I said, and they can just use it in a wrong way. That's why I do that. But normally, use whatever helps you, because that's what Knowing Who You Are is all about. That's why I started it. And now we teamed up together. We're doing it.
Yeah. It's interesting because this actually follows on something that Selena just posted. A lot of what we're talking about is also like we get a real kick out of helping other people, doing things for charity, doing things that improve other people's life. Because I think while you can also stay away from all the negative stuff, like we just talked about, if you focus on a positive thing, a positive goal, it actually does so much good for yourself as well. And she actually did something amazing. She said, she said, by the way, guys, I wanted to note serendipity that yesterday was Bangladesh Independence Day and managed to complete the trek, 49 flights, over 20,000 steps, approximately 6 miles. She said she helped raise £8,049 for mothers in rural communities in Bangladesh.
Wow.
And it basically helps them and supports them. It was physically tough, but an amazing experience with such kind souls. Yay! That's
Great
really
work,
good.
great work.
Really good.
So she had mentioned this one. I think it was done in Manchester, probably. Selena, correct me if
up
I'm
north.
wrong.
Yeah, we saw a picture on Facebook early. She was up very early with her big hiking gear and everything else, and her Bangladeshi earrings.
See, you empowered yourself, and at the same time, when we engage ourselves more and more of these positive activities, I feel you don't have time to compare, criticize, or complain.
It doesn't even sort of enter your headspace.
You don't have the time. Yeah, because you feel good about yourself. And
it's true.
Again, neurologically, you have all those different hormones that keeps kicking in. So you don't need artificial onset of those hormones through Instagram or a post or a like or a love or a dislike, whatever. So
it was in Wales, she said, by the way.
It was in Wales.
Yeah.
In Wales, okay. Brecon Beacons. Okay, replying to Selena. Yeah.
Yay, yeah.
Exactly.
It's awesome.
So,
it's
talking
great.
about that victim mindset, I have been on the receiving end of it. And as I was saying, when I was complaining, saying that other people are the reason for whatever distress I had in my life during the time, I was making myself the victim in my story, even though I should be the hero in my story. And this is what I aim in. No one has to call me hero. I should feel that I'm the hero in my story by working or doing something. And I feel that when I
You're
start...
my hero.
Oh, that's so sweet. That's so sweet. So when we become the hero in a sense, how do you do that? When I realize, when you start sharing some of your good work with other people and in service of other people around you, and bring some changes in their life. When you see there's some discrepancies and you help them because you know, probably they don't know because I've been through it when I didn't know and no one told me. And I know when no one tells you those things, how you need to work on yourself, or if you don't know, it's a toxic loop keeps going on until the last day of your life. And thankfully enough, I discovered it myself. However that happened, and for whatever incident, I'm thankful to that. And I don't have any regrets for anything because it made me a little bit better, and I'm working on it. Every day I try to get a little better. But always work in progress, as I'm telling. No one can be better. Trust me, there's no end to it. This journey every day, as I was saying, like gardening, you have to keep cleaning it up. So you can get better every day a little bit, a little bit. Then again, you know, the other plants and the weeds, everything would grow. You have to trim it. Then again, whatever you build for yourself, you've done. Because say you read a book, you get very inspired. You start practicing for 7 days, a month, and then you forget what you had read.
Yeah.
You have to keep learning, keep practicing. That's very important.
It's like practicing anything, isn't it? It's a repeating.
Did you go through the phase of victim mindset ever? Like you felt that everyone is doing this to me, and I have been, say for example, many people.
I did, yeah. I did in the ballet academy because the problem was I wasn't built to be a dancer. I was too big. And when I say big, I don't mean fat. It was just my bone structure is very
taller.
It's big. I'm very strong, and I'm not a tiny person.
You're good for wrestling.
Yeah, thanks.
No, I'm
really,
joking.
thank you. Charming.
You're looking beautiful, by the way, as well.
Nice try.
Beautiful wrestler.
Wow, I'm going to mute you.
Okay, no. Okay, carry on.
So there was a point where my grades were basically, they were good for performance. They were good for the dramatical expression, technique. I got a grade which basically prevented me from carrying on at some point, which I did handle at the time. But I was like, they're just too tough. Like they're just judging of how I don't do it good,
Or
and
do you blame
blah
the
blah
teachers
blah.
as well?
Oh yeah, the teachers are horrible, and they're just being too strong, and this place is stupid, and why am I even here? And and it wasn't. It was actually my mom who just sort of like, look, so what? Who exactly is doing what? And while I never admitted it to her, I had a very big soul-searching moment at the time in my bedroom I was writing my diary, actually. It was my diary that helped a lot at the time. And I just said, I just think I'm not built for this. I think it's not my fault because I didn't make this body, but I'm just not built for it. And if I was
You didn't
that
end
size...
up blaming God, though.
No.
Okay.
God.
Okay.
You're asking a serious question.
No, sorry.
Stop it.
Okay.
This is how comfortable we are. It's
Yeah.
literally like someone's in our living
slapping
room.
me live. Yeah. Go on.
So that was it basically.
No.
And I think from quite a young age, because my parents were very supportive in everything we did, but there was never it was always good if something bad happened. They always went to the root of the problem. And sometimes very gently, very nice. And one thing I remember, I was crying once. I had failed some exam of some kind, and I was crying and crying and crying. And my mom said, "Okay, stop 1 second. The crying is not actually gonna make it go away. The crying will only actually make you feel more crap. So you're very welcome to keep going, but it's actually, you're going to solve this when you're in a good state of mind. So you're going to solve this when you step out of the situation, you look at, okay, what happened, and analytically look good. Yes, this is what happened. And I've always remembered whenever I cry about anything, unless it's like Dangal and we're watching a Bangladeshi movie or something and I'm blah, But if I'm crying over a problem or a loss or something, I always think, I can hear my mom saying, crying isn't going to make you feel any better.
You just will kind of weaken yourself, and you turn yourself the victim.
Yeah.
Okay, everything bad happens to me.
Exactly.
So,
and I find even when I have a huge upset with someone else, which hasn't often happened, it's very rare, but when it's happened, I'll never look at, oh my god, this guy. Like I just go, guy, get it? It's always a guy.
Ooh. Okay.
I can look back and
Secrets
go,
coming.
like, I did something to create this upset with this person. Because this amazing line from this book I was reading the other day, where it just says, look, or it was a podcast or something, where it's, you are the main character in your story. So if things keep happening to you that are wrong, then the common denominator is you. Unless it happens with the same person constantly over and over. But anyway, that's
if it's
sort of
happening
my...
over and over, that's a very good point, that common denominator, because every time people are changing.
Yeah.
But
And so do
there's
we.
one thing that's constant.
Well, that's you.
That's yourself.
Yeah. But you
Or-
can change too.
Yeah.
Hopefully always
But
for the better.
when
but-
it keeps on happening the same way,
Yeah.
then at some point you have to start questioning. And I feel the practice should be, and which I have been doing, trust me, it's a well tried and tested way of doing things. Anything that happens, we as humans, I'm saying that you're not a saint, neither am I. So when things happen, I feel upset sometimes. I get angry inside and I feel like, okay, but I give myself 30 seconds or a minute. And then I tell myself, come on, come down, and try to look inside. Why are you behaving like this? Or why are you feeling? I tend to have gained control over myself
Yeah,
when I
you're
don't
very
straight
good.
away
Very
behave
good at that.
anything. But I feel probably inside. And I don't show it. Then I sit down with myself and just think that, okay, why am I feeling like this? What's happening here? How can I respond to it in a different way? Okay, that's the reason why I'm feeling like this. I'm a little upset. But what's the other way of responding to it? Or try to find out where the other person is suffering.
Yeah.
I mean, I applied this one even in our relationship.
Yeah, no, we have.
Because
And-
there are times, I mean, we are two different people, and even if, say, for example, we are from the same background, same city, speak the same language, it would happen still. Because as human beings, we have different experiences that had shaped us up to now. So there had been, I mean, even though we don't argue at all, thanks to Esther as well, which I can really maintain that. We don't have to ever argue. Because good point, which I've learned, and I feel that I'm so fortunate to find that in Esther as well, that when you're having a conversation, if there is any difference between two people, say your partner, if you ask that other person, no one is a mind reader. So if I have a problem, I share with her. Say, for example, like I said, no, I'm not going to bring it up. It's a serious conversation. I'm gonna save it for later on. I'll mention that. No, what I did in live, I won't say that.
Oh.
Anyway,
I
getting
don't
back to
mind.
the point, because say if I say something to Esther, I see that she responded to a certain situation in a certain way. And rather than getting upset or angry, I ask her. What I do normally, I take a bit of time, sometimes even till the next day. And even
Which
though
only happened once, because
Yeah.
we since have also figured out that it's best to just sort out whatever on
now
the same
thanks
day.
to you again, because you told me that please don't leave it until the next day.
Yeah.
Even though I was totally normal, but I said, okay, I'll talk to her about this one, because for some reason probably she's not feeling well, and because I can read Esther, I see that she never raises her voice, and she never gets angry, upset, or aggressive. It's not in her demeanor. But I see that she's not feeling well. She's hurt, or she's a bit tense or stressed. So I sometimes feel like probably it's not a good time to talk to her. But if you want to have a good network or also a good connection with Esther, make sure when she's talking, don't stop her. So that's what makes her a little upset. When she's sharing a story with you, if you want to add something to it, hold on to it. Hold on to your seat and like, no, Ershad, don't talk now. And wait until she finishes. Then tell her. If you do that, it sometimes happens that Esther might be like, yes, I get it. You told me 100 times, but let me finish it. But good thing is that I get it now. So Esther is telling me, say, it's a tense situation, and she's sharing a story with me. But I told you, remember? And this is, and I see her face. But good point is, she gets it, and I just have to touch her and say that, calm down. And
Yeah.
she gets the point.
No, you don't say easy.
Yeah, I say easy. And straight away, Esther gets it, and then we can make fun
Yeah.
of the whole thing. I mean, we just laugh about it. I
Well,
act
you
her
make
out.
fun and I laugh.
Yeah, I just pretend to be Esther, that I show her what at the time. Yeah. I think this is very important. Communication channels should be open.
Yeah.
So access to each other, and it's not a good thing. I mean, you can't be slave to your emotions. So you're feeling certain thing, and people are like, yeah, I mean, I do raise my voice, I argue a little bit, but later on I make up and I say sorry, and I do. My point is, when you feel like that, you're supposed to, it's a natural thing, you can't avoid it. It's a physiological thing. It will happen in your body. But your choice is the response. take yourself, separate yourself from the situation. Stay and watch yourself from a distance and ask yourself, why am I feeling like this? How can I help the other person? Where he or she is suffering from, what he or she is suffering from, or where at what point they're in that conversation, and how can I help them? That's one. So anyway, that's my take on the whole thing and what I feel like and how it helps us. Just shared with you. Because I get a lot of compliment. Esther gets a lot of compliment. We both together get a lot of compliment when people are saying that we really love your dynamic. That's the secret.
So do we. We love our dynamic.
We love our dynamic. I mean, I every now and then, and that's another thing that brings me to people talk about it. And I think everyone knows this one because these are talked about things now. Gratitude. Even though we know we don't practice, to be honest, many people don't do it, but we do. And I do it even during the workout session at the gym. I go through something happens, say during the day. It could be work, it could be some opportunity, it could be during a performance, but mostly every time I recount things that has happened between me and Esther, I'm working out and I'm like, wow, that was so nice. And I have that in my life. I'm so grateful to have that. So what do you do when you do that? It's again a scientific thing. So you don't have to wait for a like or love to have those dopamine rush or those hormones that we love, crave so much that makes us feel better. When you're grateful about a good thing in your life, whatever that is, you have that same feeling. And again, it's a positive loop. You're starting in your brain. And throughout the day, it lifts your spirit up. Say there are other things that are not going right in your life. But then you look around and see the good things that's happening in your life. Then straight away, trust me, the positivity, when it kicks in, the other things that are not going right, that will be sorted out too. That's what happened. And I see it every now and then, it happening to me.
And it is a way of being free, because by not letting things hit you, by taking responsibility for your part in whatever it is that is causing you to feel that way, you are to that degree free. You are free from whatever it is that society expects you to do, expects you to feel, expects you to think.
I think we have a message.
I think we do have a message. And so part of, I mean, just to loop back to the original subject of freedom, is that, you know, part of being the author of your own story, the driver in your own car, you know, of your life. Yeah, one of the things I think is really interesting, in the very beginning when we first became friends, you asked me, so what is your viewpoint on having an argument? Do you think that what's your idea? Do you think that it's good to have one every now and then? Like, is it healthy? And I said, no, not at all. Because if you do, then you have lost control of a normal conversation. You have lost control of the ability to sort things out. And I don't know about you, but when I'm angry, I've never said anything that actually made a lot of sense. So you end up saying things that you regret. I agree with
you, because how I look at it, sorry, I was just rushing to it because I just came out and you asked me, I thought you wanted me to answer, that's why.
Oh, sorry
to interrupt.
That's okay.
But I feel that you have lost the battle straight away, because you have lost the control over yourself, and you probably would end up giving justification saying that, in a partnership, in a relationship, it's better to have a bit of argument to spice things up.
Such rubbish.
You know, it's totally...
Get a curry, that will spice things up.
Yeah, exactly. If you want spice, just cook something with a lot of red chili or green chili. I mean, and then spice...
Get a dashy dish and you'll be fine.
Yeah, I would cook some beef with a lot of... Selena is from Sylhet.
Yeah.
They use this thing called shatkora.
Oh, yes.
So, and then, and the small chilies they use, oh my God, it can be so hot.
Oh my God.
So I've had those. But the thing is that if you want to spice it up, do that. So rather than having an argument with the person who is the most important in your life, and you're spending your time, every moment of your life in different ways, being together or even apart from each other at work or somewhere, but you're spending the time with that person. So don't start the fight with that person to get that spicy feeling, in your body. So just have some spicy food. That's my 2 cents. But no, on a serious note, that it's important to have the control over your emotions. Yeah. Because what we do, we are fine. During those moments, you get harsh. I'm not talking about only relationships. Even with other people, in your communication. You send something in a text, you say something over a phone call, or even in person, you're talking to that person, you end up saying something. then later on you regret.
Yeah.
How many times have you done that?
Oh,
Many people who
plenty.
are just listening and watching, you know that you have done it too.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
feel
yeah.
bad and you
No,
feel
I
like, can I
have.
change it? I wish I could change
Oh,
it.
yeah. You
Right?
wish you could just press delete on that life incident that just
I
happened.
have done it text-wise. I mean, say for
too.
example, not
Yeah.
fighting or argument. Say
Yeah.
even a message I'm sending, I just send it. Then later on I said, oh, I should have added that. I shouldn't have said that.
Well, the worst thing is anyway, with a text, you can't see the actual emotion that's happening. So if it's just like a question, it could come across
Text
an
normally-
accusation. It could come across as anything.
Text would always end up getting a bit distorted on the other end.
Yeah.
Because they can't hear your voice. They
Yeah.
don't know your body language. Sometimes at least you hear someone's voice. You know, the same sentence can be said angrily and sometimes as a joke. So you don't know which way. So you have to add a wink or something.
Yeah.
That's the best way now. Nikat says, I love shatkora. You should taste that. You haven't yet.
No.
So probably one of our Sileti friends, because they are the pros in it when they cook. So I used to have that back in the days in TV. We used to have those after my shows. There'd be some kind of curry. So we had a chef would stay back to cook food for everyone in the unit.
Wow.
So we used to have those.
You're like getting hungry just thinking
really,
of
I'm
it.
getting
Oh my
hungry. I
God,
didn't
this
have
is such a problem.
I'm getting emotional.
Oh.
Joking. Yeah, she had, Selena had
I am so gullible.
added that. Okay, added the name for the shatkora. So that's what it's called.
Melanesian lime.
Melanesian
Wow.
lime.
Okay.
Yeah, we should try that.
Getting emotional.
So,
I
yeah.
actually thought you were getting emotional.
I was.
This is how gullible I get.
Yeah, it's like, I told Esther never to change because it's so much fun. So I can always put her on.
Pulls my leg all the time.
Yeah, but that's the fun. That's our spice. Bit of sweetness adds the spice to the life. So, okay, everyone today whoever has joined this live, what's going on? Oh my God! And I was looking at you during the show, and I was thinking about the wrestling part of things. That's what I didn't want to mention. I said, okay, I'm gonna add that later.
No, I just remembered what you said this afternoon. I said, because I just done my workout and I felt really, really good. And I said, I'm going to be svelte like a gazelle. And then you responded with, I'm hungry like an antler.
I have to do something. I have to match her in the conversation. So I said, okay, let's make something
I was
up.
trying to think, how does that work? I can't think with that.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry I made you cry. Oh my God. Selena says the Bangladeshi lime, the green one, can make anyone emotional too. That fragrance is,
terrible.
That's true.
Anyway, so he's always joking with me.
You made Esther cry.
No,
Thank
you
you.
did.
Okay.
This is not crying. This is
No, I
laughing.
know.
This is
It's
laughter.
It's a happy tears.
Oh God, yeah.
Okay. On that note.
On that happy note.
On that happy note, yeah.
You're hungry as an antler.
Yeah. I'm gonna really.
We're gonna have a nice big dinner afterwards.
I've decided today from this point onwards we shouldn't talk about food on the show,
because
especially when I'm hungry and didn't have lunch.
And then our
sleeping.
entire listening contingency, they start having, because they're mostly probably ladies who can cook really well. They start throwing out all these recipes and everything, which is
Nika
amazing.
would straight away finish her laundry. She used to start cooking something. Selena, most of the time she calls us when she's in the middle of her lunch or dinner.
Yeah.
And Sarah is in the kitchen sometimes.
She's called when
chopping.
she's cooking.
Yeah. So everyone whoever has watched this show today, thanks for your support, constant support, lovely conversation.
Really
and
nice.
I think we touched upon a lot of interesting topics today. I really
I
enjoyed
think
the
so too.
conversation and sharing a lot of my secrets and, histories that we sometimes keep on making up to it and compensate, like, okay, that's my history, that's my negative part of my life, and rest of my life I have to compensate for it, rather than, it's like you're driving, looking at the rear view mirror, you can avoid the accident. So this is one of the ways. One last piece of wisdom which I've learned as well. It's not a good habit to look back and saying what you have been through, what's your history, and what life has given you, many negative things, many unpleasant experiences. But going forward, you need to look forward rather than always looking back.
Yeah.
So always look into the possibilities that you have ahead.
On the other hand, if you use what you've been through in the past as an experience from which you've learned and now improved, then obviously that's fine.
That's the possibility.
Because that is the possibility of a future, because the whole point of experiences is that you used them and you actually...
Like you're not driving like this.
Yeah.
And
unless you're reversing into a parking space.
You end up...
That's the only time you're allowed to do that.
But you're going backwards then.
Yeah.
But when you're going forward, don't drive it like this, because
No.
then you end up having an accident which would harm you and other people.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
same thing in life.
Yeah.
That same analogy, if you use that, you'll end up harming other people in your life.
Very
So,
true.
guys, I think it's time for me to grab some food. So I had my
Thanks.
intermittent fasting, no lunch for me, so dinner straight away. And people who are joining now, I see Mahbub Mia Miri Kawal. Nice. Thank you. He's a singer.
Oh, great.
Amazing singer from
Fantastic.
Pakistan. Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you for joining.
And Selena says, finally, I'll read her message. Oh, I'm resting. I was knackered yesterday, sitting for 5 hours to and fro with no leg space.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. Well, well done for the achievement, because what you
Great
did
work,
actually
Selena.
helped
Great
women
job.
in
Keep doing
Bangladesh.
it.
So that's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So guys, remember the 3 C's we talked about, which Syra would implement and everyone should, which I do every day. So on that note, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Knowing Who You Are on WhatsApp. You can download on. I'm ignoring her now.
Sorry,
because
I was trying to do 3 C's, but I only have 2 hands.
She's interrupting my train of thought. So also Apple Podcast, you can download. Spotify, Amazon Music, you can listen to it. A new episode are being added when I'm interviewing people all around the world. I have done a new interview. I'm gonna plug this one now.
Yeah.
This person, she is in America, in Indiana, and she had struggled with her weight. She was 254 pounds. She not only reduced her chances of diabetes, she lost the weight, and she is a fitness trainer. She has done MBA. She had done 2 masters basically and an MBA. Then she had got her certification as a fitness trainer. And now she's helping other people, and she has shared her story with me and how she's helping other people and her experience. So anyone who has similar struggle, they can listen to their podcast, so which is coming out very shortly. So you'll get to hear that very soon. So on that happy note, everyone, I hope you had a great Sunday so far with us. And we
definitely did. And I really wanted to thank you for all the input, for all the different suggestions, the different comments, and also for the call today, which is really nice. And while we want to wish everyone else a good rest of Mother's Day, and to our own mothers as well. Happy Mother's Day, Mama.
Happy Mother's Day, Ammu.
Yeah.
And your mama too, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
So on that note, everyone, happy Mother's Day, and also happy Independence Day, which happened yesterday.
Yeah.
So
happy life.
Happy life, yeah. And enjoy your life. No negativity.